Welcome to Conversations with David Ibarra, segment 2 with Jared Wheeler. Today, in this segment, we're going to talk about a new project, and I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce that project.
Thank you, David. Had fun in the first segment. New project. So in Southern Utah, that's where my dealerships are, with David here. We got a really crazy, awesome auto mall going in, right?
That's right.
Brand new, dirt from scratch, raw land, high-line, high-tech auto mall, and it's being built right now. And we're about 3 months away from having the infrastructure done.
And I want to go back from the very beginning because I remember this isn't the beginning, but I remember when you and your dad came and approached me about how is it to get manufacturers interested. But talk to me, where did that idea come from, Jared?
Oh, man. I remember sitting in your office. How long ago was it? How long ago was it?
A few years ago.
A few years ago. This has been a long time coming on this project, and a lot of loopholes to jump through and a lot of people to talk to and get on board. But, yeah, we're finally there. How did it come about? Well, the city of Washington, so St. George and Washington City down there in southern Utah are the two major cities. They didn't have any real car dealers in their city, right? And it was a big push about, is there anything we can do to drive some automobile dealers to town? And so they kind of were asking around, the right people knew the right people, and we got involved on that. And we said, yeah, we'd love to do a project like that, as long as we had the right help. That's why we came to you too for that. Yeah, but 3 years ago, I think we're probably close to the day when it started. Went through all the red tape, worked with the city. They were just fantastic to work with. Really made it easy. And securing the land, that was a whole fun thing too as well. But yeah, we're finally there, pushing through the finish line. We sold the first 2 lots to the Finley Automotive Group. Congratulations. We're happy to have you out there. They're excited to start construction on their first building, so we're really excited. We're excited to see where it goes.
Well, and two is that to get this put together, I remember when we first started talking, we decided to put together a specialized talent team. Mm-hmm. And we didn't want to just walk up and say, hey, we know X amount about the auto industry, or we know X amount about Highline High Tech. And we were talking about Highline High Tech EV, electric vehicle friendly.
Right.
And that's the future. But when we decided to make it look like it already existed. So we bring in a highly talented individual by the name of Troy Anderson as our architect.
Brilliant.
And we chatted with him about building it and making it look right. Why don't we tell us a little bit about those conversations?
Yeah, that's great. How you mentioned the team, honestly, just real quick on that, there's no way we could have done what we've done and what we're doing without all of us involved. And Troy has been such a huge part of that too. But I mean, just such a beautifully designed, it was kind of your thoughts about it and what the future of the car industry looks like, of how that got translated to paper with Troy and his designs. I mean, you were so elegant speaking how people wanted to shop and being able to have all these selections right there, and how all these different manufacturers are modernizing, and same with the dealers that we'd be bringing in. So when he really designed this, I mean, there's such good flow to it. You could just shop all these luxury high-tech brands and try them all out without, any pressure, and just really feel like and the piece of ground's so beautiful. You have Pine Mountain right there, and southern Utah is just gorgeous. I mean, it'll be a whole experience.
Red rock.
Yeah.
Sun comes up, you think you're in heaven.
Oh yeah, it's car shopping day. That's what you're gonna go do on a Saturday for fun. But yeah, the team put that together, and when we had those designs done for it, it really just wowed all of us. I mean, we could see the finished product so visually.
I'll answer my own question on this, and you can elaborate on it. One of the reasons that we put it together in a virtual fashion as if it already existed, not everybody sees in 3D. Mm-hmm. And we had to have a presentation where they looked at the group we were, and that we did have the specialized talent members to put together this deal better than anyone else. Tell us about when the first time you showed that to the mayor of Washington City, or the city council, or the state when we were going after securing the land.
Yeah, well, it was the same feeling I think we all had when we first saw it. I mean, it was so beautiful. I mean, it was so, looks like it's already there. We can see it, right? And in your mind's eye, if you can see it and you can think it, it's going to be, right? And that's kind of what we went with. It was so interesting watching this all happen. I think how you mentioned it's hard to see, especially when we were out there in the beginning. I mean, it's just a big piece of dirt, right? It is hard to visualize something so elegant and so vast. I mean, it's so big. I was walking it just last week with the contractor, and I hadn't walked it for a long time. I don't know the last time you were down there, but it is a huge piece of land, and it is going to be so awesome being to see all these different dealerships right there. And I think that how our team kind of went about it and put it together is an important thing to talk about too. You know, you have all these other auto malls that say they're going to be an auto mall, and they kind of get parsed out because it's some developer that doesn't really understand how the auto industry works without having your expertise come in. I mean, you just get some big land developer. I mean, it's 44 acres. It's a big piece of land, and you get someone that's coming in there while the land values are rising, and you sell it to some Applebee's or some other business, and now you've just kind of ruined the integrity of what you were trying to build. So I think that was a huge piece in what we decided to do, and why the city supported us so much in our venture is because we had a real vision of having it fully completed, and denying any offers of people coming in and just wanting to buy the land to
and
have
we've
a
had
piece.
those.
So many. Every day we have to deny them. And we built the CC&Rs were structured really well, working with the city on that. They've been such a pleasant group to work with, this new city council and the mayor. Awesome.
I want to shift just a minute for the audience, because when you decide that who is it you want to be, what is it that I want, what's my purpose, the next thing you've got to do is just start taking your journey to that destination with looking left, right, forward, up, and down to find the big ideas that you can incorporate into the purpose. And whether it's, I can remember several of ours. How is that sign going to look?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us about that sign.
Oh man, it is. I hope you can share or show. But you got to show it on the screen there for them. But I mean, it is so modern and so forward thinking. You can just feel that this entire place is going to mimic that sort of sign. I mean, it's so cool. It's basically an art structure to me. I mean, I really love it. But it's that same thing you're talking about. I think it's hard for. It's like eating an elephant, right? That whole saying where you got to do a bite at a time. When we started this project, it was so in its infancy, and to be able to get as far along down the road as we are, it took all of us. And I think that's almost any project in your life, right? I think so many people always have great ideas, and they have these real big visions and grandiose things that they want to do or believe they can do. And then they look at that mountain or that summit, and it's just too hard of a climb, and I think a lot of people turn away. It's too much.
When we look at the across the freeway, because it's the parcel of land is right along the freeway,
right, exit 13.
So you can see it at exit 13, near Blackberry
Diner
or Black Bear Diner.
Yeah,
and when you see the sign, it fits in with the red rock. It fits in, but it's modern,
right?
It's technology. People know this is an auto mall. And then when you were looking at the roads that we're already in,
right,
and the conversation became,
yeah,
they're in the wrong place.
Oh my goodness, talk about the drama. Yeah, had to tear them up,
put them in the right place,
because you have to. You could try and work around with what was existing, but. And Troy's brilliant with all that, obviously. He knew the flow needed to be a different way, so we didn't spare any expense on that. We wanted it to be perfect, which I believe we've landed on.
Tell me about the infrastructure on the roads, and what can somebody expect to see those start being installed and done? think they're starting soon, right?
No, so they're close to done. Like I was saying, it should be only 2 months or so before you could drive down it. So all the utilities are in the ground. All the roads are cut in. They have all their little, I'm not the best construction talker, but all the different points of the utility boxes are there. The fire hydrants. What we need to do is the sidewalks, the meandering sidewalks, really beautiful part. Talk about the landscaping, get that in, and then lay that asphalt, and you'll be able to drive it.
One of the things that we believe, and I think it's going to prove to be true, is that the new dealership of the future, particularly on Highline, high-tech, EV-centric, is not going to have a huge display of cars. It's this notion of that type of buyer wants a fresh car.
Right.
There's a pre-owned car, there's a new car, and then there's fresh. What does that mean, fresh, in that buying experience of a Highline person?
I think when it comes to Highline like that, we're friends with some very Highline dealers, and you get those clients that come in and want a very customized experience, right? They want to be able to pick the stitching of their seats and the exact leather. I mean, there's so many different chair options that you can pick. These dealerships that'll be coming in and Highline in general, it's such an experience to go buy and design that car. It's like designing your plane or designing any of these other luxury items.
And to have touch points where they're going to be notified that your car is at stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. It's coming off the line. It's being dipped. It's being painted.
Right.
Oh, it's on the transit. It's coming. It's in this state. It'll be delivered on this day, and you can arrive and see it come off the transport if you wish.
It's so cool.
That's fresh.
I mean, and watching it's like getting an Amazon delivery, Christmas morning or whatever. You're watching it come all the way through the process and all these different design things. A lot of these manufacturers too give you like updates with pictures and stuff now. It's like such a fun project.
That's what we're changing to. And as we look at it, it's going to be definitely some new vehicles on ground in showroom mostly because they're very expensive.
Right.
But you can come, touch, look, and if you're serious, even drive. But you can't just drive it for fun. But then many will want to order one for delivery that has not been touched by anyone but them.
Yeah, it'll be a whole experience. And the other cool thing for Southern Utah and anyone wanting to shop there is the dealers that we have and are talking to and want to bring in are those cutting edge dealers, right? We want those people that are going to bring a nice competitive market to this auto mall and deliver a good product, a good experience, good pricing, all that stuff. When you find these type of people that are getting awarded points, right, or getting the manufacturer on their side, they're the ones that are really the up and comers and kind of shaking our industry, right? So it'll be fun to have that sort of.
Is there the kind of buyer in St. George that would drive a Lamborghini, a Ferrari?
I know a few, yeah. It's so funny. I get that a lot when I talk about the Highlines that we're talking to and bringing to Southern Utah. I mean, if you drive the streets of St. George now, it's so different. I mean, you can't go a day without seeing a Lamborghini or a Bentley or even a Rolls Royce these days.
Why is that?
I think that it's just because, you look at because we have all the different, the data and all the different market studies we have, but our gross medium income is so high that people are moving here with a lot of money. They're high paying jobs. People love Southern Utah and they're coming from all over the place.
Some of the viewers are going to hate what I'm about to say, but it's going to be St. George, California soon if we're not careful. But it's becoming the Beverly Hills of the West, and there's a lot of tech money in Southern Utah, and the people that have worked really, really hard and want to have the joy of driving, and a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. That's just they want that.
Oh yeah,
and we can provide that.
Exactly, they're all there now, so it'll be nice having all those different brands and being able to service them in Southern Utah.
That's the key.
Right? I mean, I get so many people that call even our service center or our shops that they're under manufacturer warranty or need to do their servicing at Audi or at Porsche or wherever it is. And it's such a burden, really, to get your car taken somewhere. And when you're talking Lamborghini or a Porsche, you got to throw that on a trailer unless you're going to put the miles on it, and risk the road damage.
You know a little bit about that since you brought it up. You get in those exotic cars as far as retailing them now, correct?
Yeah, I love cars. Yeah, so I definitely play in the exotic world.
You got any exotic car that is the one of the month that you've just picked up?
I really like the Lamborghini Uruses. I've gone through a lot of those now. It's cool because you can put car seats in them. Not too many Lamborghinis. You can throw your kids in the back. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun cars. I've sold a lot of fun cars in St. George. I think it's funny because I have a lot of friends in Southern Utah that's kind of old school, have a lot of money and still drive a 2008 Toyota Tacoma or whatever, and I love them for it. And they always, I'm kind of that guy that'll pull up in a Lamborghini next to them, go golfing, and they all would drive that. They just don't want their neighbors seeing them. And so when we go out of town or whatever, and they have that fun experience. But every single one of those friends, I'll let take an exotic out, and as soon as they get back, it's like, I'd really like to get one of these for my Park City house, or I'd want to put these somewhere else where my neighbors wouldn't see me. But this was such an experience. I think it's funny how people who haven't really drove an exotic or experienced that, it's something that feels it's undescribable a little bit, and it's not about just showboating or looking. The experience of driving those cars
you can't get a smile off your face.
Oh man, I'll drive roads. I prefer to drive roads where no one is. I'll go up to Kolob or somewhere where no one even knows I'm up there and just drive those roads, man. And it will really change. If you're having a bad day, I don't know anything that makes your day good faster than driving a Lamborghini around a tight corner, for sure. It's an experience.
I love all those cars, and as you know, I'm not a guy who drives around in a flamboyant car, but
I'll be that guy.
A Lamborghini is a maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There we go.
One day, I watched the movie Lamborghini, the story of him, which was unbelievable. And it talked about the comparisons of a Lamborghini to a Ferrari. But it really is for those that have worked hard, and again, you're not taking your wealth with you. And if you do well and good at the same time, why not be able to treat yourself to something that makes you smile? Don't waste, but why not treat? And I think that's what the Sienna Hills Auto Mall in Washington City off of exit 13 is going to be. Now let's move a little bit as we got into this project. We originally was just High Line. And then all of a sudden, things started to change very rapidly with EV centric.
Man, but it has changed that fast, right? I mean, throughout this, we said it was 3 years, but man, how far and how much has EV been pushed now, and how many more manufacturers are moving into that space, right? It's kind of crazy. In just 3 years, look at it. We got every single manufacturer having EV line, right?
Well,
I don't know anyone
you
that
look
doesn't.
at, some of them are further ahead than others, but Volkswagen they've got some stuff that is unbelievably beautiful cars. You look at Hyundai, they got some beautiful cars.
Right.
A Chevrolet, and we're going to see the Corvette EV. We're looking at just everything is headed there. So we started to have those discussions. So we decided that we were going to take, I believe, an acre of land and do what with it?
Yeah, make a charging station, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is the way the world's going. So it'll be kind of a fun experience as people get more and more into these electric vehicles, and in that space, being able to charge at our auto mall and be able to walk and shop all the new EVs or whatever else the manufacturers have to offer at that time. It'll be a kind of a fun little shopping center for cars. It's like going to the mall.
So as people come back from, or people who are going from Salt Lake to Las Vegas or vice versa, and they want to take a break, they can stop at the charging station at the north end of the Sienna Hills Auto Mall, and there will be entwined is about how many eateries?
There's a ton of food options there right now. There should be, by the time that's built, there'll probably be about 5 or 6. Yeah.
6 that we'll have right there. So whether it's sitting next to one of our picnic tables and having some dining there, whether it's walking and having your charge and looking at exotic cars or what have you, it will truly be an experience. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. How many people told you were nuts when you first even started thinking about it?
Oh, man. I don't know if there was a single person that didn't tell me I was nuts on this project, right? And it's so funny how, this happens in everything in life, right? If you have some sort of crazy idea and it seems just impossible to do, I love how all those same people, all of them start turning and say, yeah, I knew that was going to happen, right? Like all the conversations start changing after they see dirt moving or a sign going up. I think it's important for your listeners or whoever ends up hearing this. It is so important not to let those sort of conversations or those things that are said to you deter you or discourage you in any way. I'm kind of sick. That stuff drives me even further. Like, I love when someone tells me I can't do something. It really just pushes me. That's probably not a good motivator, but I like that. But I have seen so many friends and so many acquaintances let that stop them from achieving their dreams. It's sad.
And I think the one piece of advice that I can give listeners, and I think I gave you and your father early on, this is about what do you want? And this is what I want. What are you willing to do to get ready to get it? Mm-hmm. And that is not to just go up and say, hey, I'm the biggest, or you should give it to me, or I'm the youngest, or I have big ideas about the way the future's going to be. Those are all thoughts.
Right.
You got to do the work.
Right.
You got to do the work in the design. You got to do the work. And how easy was that?
No, that was a big investment monetarily and time, and through all of our meetings. We spent so much time really seeing this through and building it in our minds and then putting it on paper and then into the digital space.
And the one thing that I'd also recommend is when you're going through that, do not connect it to money going to be made. Do connect it to the joy of building, the joy of selling, and the joy that somebody's going to have in buying.
Yeah, it's such good
counsel. And when you do that, wow.
Changes.
Sometimes your dreams come true, but no matter what, you gain something because you took the journey.
So true.
So true. Is there anything you'd like to add to our listeners about the Sienna Hills Auto Mall in Washington City off of Exit 13 before we end this episode?
I would just say check out the website. We're going to start updating that with all the different brands coming in and that we're talking to. So it's siennahillsautomall.com. Obviously on all the social medias too. It's on Instagram and Facebook. You can find it at Sienna Hills Auto Mall. So we're so excited. I'm so honored to be a part of the project. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. That. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that'll end episode 2 with Jared Wheeler.
Thank you.
Thanks.